Kim, Ted Cruz made the case with Donald Trump on judges. This is I want to get your take on how important this is. He said basically he's going to nominate a liberal judge, and pay attention to that, voters. Do you think that has resonance?
Yeah, Justice Scalia's death, so unfortunate, but this is a moment that focuses all conservative minds. As you were sitting there watching last night, it made everyone realize how important it was that the Republicans had won the Senate and now have the ability to do something about an Obama nomination. And it put the stakes up about how important it's going to be to win the White House next year for them. So that was Ted Cruz's message up on the stage, is this is now an issue. This shows you all why we're having this debate, why this is so important, and why we've got to win. The question is going to be whether or not Republicans can unite around one of these guys in the end, and they do understand those stakes, because it does help focus the mind.
Let's switch quickly then to Justice Scalia. Peggy, what's your sense? I mean, there's a fight now over this. How do you think it plays out?
Oh, yeah, the first thing is this is an epical moment, in a divided country, more or less, with a divided court, more or less, with a president leaving in 10 months, with a major presidential election coming up. What a moment to have the U.S. Senate consider and a president consider nominating a replacement for a man who was really a giant and who had so much meaning to conservatives in America, who took such comfort in his presence on the court. So to me, I think my headline is, wow, this election year is turning, this is like written by Alan Drury, this is Advise and Consent 2016. Right. It's going to be so dramatic. I am one of those who thinks I would love to see the president hold off on a nominee and say, I understand all the facts here. Let's go forward. You're electing the next president in America in just X months. The nominee will depend on the next president you pick. The court can get along 8-8 for a long time.
Jamelle, what do you think about, Kim mentioned the role that justices have in the conservative movement. What role do you think it plays in the Democratic race?
I think in the Democratic race, this is an opportunity for both Sanders and Hillary Clinton to sort of emphasize the stakes of this election. I think this intra-left divide between the two candidates has obscured the extent to which there are major and fundamental differences between the two parties. And President Obama yesterday said that he fully intends to nominate someone. Yeah. So I think, Peggy, your dream is going to have to...
He could change his mind. He could say, wait.
We'll send him a transcript.
She's an optimist.
But my hunch is that whoever the president nominates, the Republicans may not even consider the nominee. And so we're going to have this 8, 9, 10-month period where I think both Democrats are really going to be hammering on this fact and using it to say, who wins November determines the future of civil rights, of voting rights, of climate, of this vast array of major issues. And so I think this might become the determinative issue of the election, and it may redound to Hillary Clinton's benefit, who is making her case on the basis of electability.
Dan, do you think it has a chance to play a role in any of the Senate races? I mean, there are about 5 or 6 Republicans in blue states, senators who are up in blue states. Do you think this matters in those states and therefore might matter to which party controls the Senate?
I think it very well could. I mean, we have seen really since Bush v. Gore the notion that the Supreme Court is not necessarily an impartial arbiter of American society. The court has been politicized, and I think even more so as a result of the death of Justice Scalia. I think we are headed toward a major debate about the role of the court and the significance of having control of the power, the levers that create the next Supreme Court. So I think it's big, not just in the presidential race, but also in the other races.
To add to that real quickly, I think depending on how the presidential race shapes out, that we may look back at the 2014 election as being hugely momentous, right? Republicans didn't just win a majority, they won a pretty comfortable majority. And if Democrats can't make that up this year, then the Supreme Court is sort of a very open question.